Right, back back again. So it's Monday. It is Monday, the 16th of March. Um, so I've managed to track down one of the last decent face masks. Yeah, give me one. I have got the sat nav working, so you may hear that. So there's only a few types of face mask that actually work. I can see this getting on my nerves. So there's only a certain type of face mask that actually works, um, and I've managed to find one that is of a decent quality with rechangeable or changeable filters that go there and there. It's a black colour, and it has cost me about £24, and I've got it from Wix. So if anyone's really wanting to get a mask, not to my knowledge, the Wicks in Croydon, Beddington Lane, should have two left. They did have three, and I've paid for one. I'm going to go pick it up as we speak. But for everyone that's wearing masks out there, and I understand the need to wear a face mask, I get it. You see, I know with people from China and across that part of the world, wearing a face mask is pretty normal. I understand that. But from what I'm led to believe, that those types of face masks, the ones that go just across, those typically blue ones, they do pinch across the top of the nose. I mean, I had to wear them. I've actually got a load of them at home, believe it or not. Those aren't any good for protecting against um, microbial life forms, which is basically what COVID-19 is. And the thing is, I'm not feeling ill. I'm not well. I am well. I don't have it. I mean, I could have it. You don't show symptoms for the best part of 2 weeks before, So, I mean, you never know. I could actually have it. I don't know. But until then, I'm going to carry on going to work. But the thing is I've said this before, the buses are dirty. They are. I have homemade hand sanitizer, which is frightfully strong, um, made with alcohol. Um, I'm taking that with me to work. I'm cleaning the insides of the cabs down with antibacterial wipes. But the thing is no one actually knows how coronavirus is actually spread. No one knows. No one knows if it's spread through touch. So if you touch a surface and you don't wash your hands and you touch another surface and then it spreads to that surface and someone else touches that surface without realizing it, they then have it, then they touch their face and then they have it, and then it incubates some more and then it ends up getting worse. Then they touch a surface and someone else, blah, blah, blah. It's a cascade effect. No one knows if it's that or if it's actually airborne. No one knows. So the thing is if I see medical professionals across the world wearing hazmat suits and plastic protective gear, and I see them wearing a certain type of face mask or a certified face mask, which is FFF3 or something like that, then you know what? I want the good stuff. I if I'm going to be going to work, if it is airborne and I'm going to have to be going to work because I'm going to carry on going to work until it actually closes, um, then I want to protect myself. It's what I want to do. I don't want to get ill. I've had enough of being ill over the last 6 months. From August last year, I had an absolute enough. For me personally, COVID-19 is the Earth's way of cleansing itself. And I don't want that for me personally. I feel like I contribute to the planet. I try and recycle. I try and reduce my carbon footprint. I'm a good person. I just don't believe it's my time to go. Cancer didn't take me away. So why should coronavirus? So I'm going to do everything I can to protect myself and protect my family. So that's that. My car's not really wanting to do it today. There we go. So there we go. So what are we actually doing? Hmm? What are you doing to protect yourself if you are working? If you're in a job where you feel vulnerable to an illness, or you feel like you're not protected by the company you work for, or even if you're self-employed, what sort of precautions are you personally taking to try and avoid infection? So, like I said, I wear a mask at work now. I drive with a mask on. I'm about to go and buy a really good, relatively heavy duty one where I can change the filters. And when I'm actually in the store, I'm going to buy some more filters for it. So there's that. But what are you doing? Are you wearing face masks? Are you wearing plastic gloves? Have you got hand sanitizer? Can you even find hand sanitizer? Are you washing your hands religiously? I think that at the moment these are things that should be basic common sense, to anyone that doesn't want to get ill. So if you've got a cold, usually you try, and if you're gonna sneeze, sneeze into your arm. Don't sneeze into your hand. You know. I keep saying but do it like it's like a vampire sneeze. Blah, blah. Sneeze into your sneeze into your arm. You can always spray your jacket clean later, or wash your jacket later. Sneeze into a tissue, dispose of it. Then wash your hands straight after, if you can, if you're in a position where you have access to soap. These are things that I think should be common practice anyway for people with any kind of common sense. But what are you doing different? Are you being overprotective? Do you feel slightly paranoid when someone comes up to you in your personal space? Because I'm not panicking, don't get me wrong, I don't panic. However, I am slightly paranoid now. Only slightly. It's a case of, if I'm using public transport and everyone's standing away from each other at the bus stop, and I've said this before, they'll stand God knows how far away at the bus stop, and then when it comes to getting on the bus, you've got grown men standing bollock to bum, squeezing up on each other. No, don't. I don't want to have a lap dance from you, thank you, good sir. If I'm standing up and I've got my own little personal bubble of at least half a meter between me and someone else, I don't want you to come and invade my personal space. Go and fuck yourself. I don't want you in my personal space. So this is something that I think we need to look at as a nation. The government, if they're not going to stop public transport, they need to put strict rules and measures in on public transport so that drivers definitely do not um, drive a bus that is up to their legal capacity. It shouldn't have to be that way. What it should actually be is drivers should be driving buses where we have passengers on the bus, but no one stands up. I've said this before. Personal space. If you can't get to work the time that you need to, leave earlier. Get an earlier bus. Walk to work. Cycle to work. Fit and healthy. Do that. Do that by all means. Get an Uber. I'm pretty sure an Uber driver would love to have you in. Especially if you've got your own antibacterial spray that you carry in your handbag. Just give it a spray before you get in, give it a spray before you get out. And the Uber driver or other cab service, they would love that. They would, because it shows you're being considerate for just yourself, but for them and their other potential passengers. What are you doing? Are you getting paranoid about it? I am. I mean, I've been to the gym this morning. I went to the gym. Was it yesterday? Can't remember. I'm losing track of my days. But I went. Yeah, I went yesterday and I went today. Relatively empty. And the thing is I know the gym is pretty much one of the worst places to be for catching COVID-19. I get that. I understand that. But the thing is, there's ways and means of doing things. So clearly, You know, I've put the locker key around my wrist. Yeah, I don't know if that's clean or not, but I've then instantly gone into the facilities and I've used soap and I've washed my hands and my wrists and I've cleaned that key that is now on my wrist. You see, when I've gone into the gym itself after getting changed, there's sanitizer spray and paper towel. I've been cleaning things before using it, and then when I've finished using it, I've then cleaned it again for someone else to use. For me, that's common sense and pretty much good manners. I don't want to end up making someone else paranoid when they see me in my sweaty body get off a piece of equipment. I'm going to clean that down for you so you can use it. That to me is just, it's considerate. So yes, you can. Yeah, it's just a case of being a bit more considerate, don't you reckon? So yes, I am still going to the gym. What do I think should be happening now? I mean, yes, I've got my face mask on the way. I'm going to pick that up, and I'm due to get there whenever I'm due to get there. Let me just have a look at the map. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be getting there. So, what can we do? What can we all do collectively to try and remedy this? You know, to get where we need to go to moving forward with coronavirus. What can we do about this? Okay, so obviously we've got the basics of washing hands and hand sanitizers, or even making our own hand sanitizers if we can. So I'm going to give you some advice. Forget what the government say, because they're about 3 weeks behind what they should be doing anyway. Okay, so what Boris Johnson says is pretty much bollocks to Boris Johnson. He's a fucking idiot. Okay, so if you've got plans to go out for a drink, I had plans to go out for a drink on Saturday this week. I'm more than likely going to have to cancel that with my best friend in the entire world. I'm probably going to have to cancel that. I don't want to, but out of just sheer common sense, I may have to. I don't want to end up being in a position where I'm wearing a face mask with a straw dangling out the front, looking like some weird sort of elephant. I don't want. I don't want to do that. I don't want to end up travelling down to Waterloo. And to be fair, I'd probably walk a majority of the way there anyway. So that's probably 4 miles to Camberwell. And if I was to carry on walking to Waterloo, that's another 2.5 miles from Camberwell. So I'd probably get there in about 2 hours and 10 minutes anyway, which isn't a bad walk to be fair. But I don't want to be walking at that time in the morning from 9 o'clock till around about 11:15 to go and meet my mate just so I can go and have a drink and have dinner at Wagamama. You know, that I don't want to have to do that. It shouldn't have to happen. So avoid social gatherings. Okay, this is the crux of it. So if you have to cancel plans, you have to cancel plans. I know it's a kick in the teeth for many people, but you've got to do what you've got to do. The St. Patrick's Day parade has been cancelled in central London. Fuck yes! It's been cancelled in central London. Personal reasons. Don't worry about it. The London Marathon's been postponed until October. It could still be pushed back again, depending on how the virus develops later on. But social gatherings, avoid it. If you've got a birthday party to go to, say to the person who's having the party, look, I'm sorry, I love you to pieces, I'm not going. You know, just bit of advice, throw your birthday party another day. You know, if you're pretty much my age, younger or slightly older, and you're relatively healthy, there's a good chance, even with COVID-19, that you're going to see your next birthday. There's be other chances. So we need to do what we can to prevent the spread of the infection. This is what we need to do. Prevention at this point is key. Is key. So if you need to self-isolate, self-isolate. If you've developed a cough, even if you know you've got a cold and you've got a bit of a cough with the cold, keep yourself away from anyone for at least a week. If you don't get better, call 111. Let your employer know. Look, I'm self-isolating. This is what my symptoms are, and then it's down to your employer to take action if they choose to or not. Personally, myself, I'm still waiting for a positive test on a bus in my garage or a bus driver in my garage. I'm waiting for that because that to me is going to be the biggest clusterfuck. I personally think that I've said it before. Buses should run during the day only at 10-minute intervals each if they're high frequency. And all the buses that aren't going out should be deep cleaned, but they're not being deep cleaned because Sadiq Khan's a lying bastard. But there you go. That's just my gripe about that bloke. Um, what else can we do? I think what we can do is instead of bulk buying, and a lot of people are bulk buying toilet rolls and soap and this, that, and the other, and what have you, which is, I understand it. I'm not a complete idiot. I understand why people are buying in bulk toilet roll. I actually do understand it. It's a stupid thing to do. Don't get me wrong. As much as I understand it, you're a fucktard, is what you are. It doesn't give you the shits. And most people in 2 weeks only get through roughly 8 toilet rolls, maybe 10 if you've got a family. And the best way to get through those efficiently is to budget the amount you use. So after you've had a massive dump, instead of rolling out an arm and a half's length with a toilet roll, then folding it over again, then scrunching it up a little bit, and then wiping your backside dry, then pulling out another arm's length. You know, and there are people that do that. Seriously, don't do that. It is perfectly possible to wipe your backside with 4 sheets of paper. It can be done. 4 sheets, fold it in half, wipe, and then as gross as it sounds, and it is gross, don't get me wrong, fold that in half again. The poo isn't going to seep through the paper. Wipe your backside again, and when your backside is clean, wash your hands with soap and hot water. Ration what you have. Another good thing about this, really, about people stocking up on this, that, and the other. Cheers, mate. Is you can literally start losing weight from this. I mean, yes, you may have a cupboard full of food and a freezer full of food, but if you have to self-isolate, you don't really know how much you're going to actually be needing, especially if you don't know when you're going to be going out again or if you're going to be able to get anything from the supermarket. Think about it. So say if you love pasta, me personally, I love pasta. I'm a good big fan of a good spag bowl, spaghetti bolognese with loads of cheese. Do you know what? Ration your portions, cut down on portion size. I'm pretty sure we can all train our stomachs if we have a smaller portion, calorie control as well. So you're not only watching what you eat, you're saving food, which means if you're having a smaller portion and you have that same size of portion of food for roughly a week, your stomach will actually shrink. You get used to it. You become climatized to it. You start to become full with what you're eating, especially if you chew for the correct amount of time your food, you see, and drink water before having your meal. So by saving food, you're actually doing yourself a favor. You're becoming healthier. You're losing weight. You're becoming more hydrated when you're drinking lots before having a meal. You're preventing food waste because if you're using less food to cook with and you're either consuming it or you know, or even if you're not finishing it, there'll be less wasted food, which I think is a great thing. It is a great thing. So, you know, there's ways and means of getting around things without acting like a fucktard all the time. There are. We can all do things collectively to help each other. I mean, if you're at a bus stop, for example, and you see 10 other people waiting at your bus stop to get on your bus, and 5 of those people are elderly, do you know what? Let the elderly get on the bus. Let them get on the bus. You don't know if they're able to stand for long outside there. You don't know if there's going to be a seat for them on that bus. But if you don't get that bus and you walk for a little bit or you get a different bus, then you're literally helping that person get around. You see, it is, it is what it is basically. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing the best I can for not just myself, but for my family and other people. Those traffic lights aren't working. I've got to just look over here quickly. Um, so yeah, I mean, even when I was on my bus the other day, I had a gentleman on my bus with his 2 to 3 year old daughter, and I allowed them onto my bus early when I was at the bus stand because they didn't know what time the next bus was going and this, that, and the other, and they wanted to get around London a little bit. So I said, look, it's not a problem. You can jump on my bus. I'm going to be leaving in about 7 minutes. You're more than welcome to sit and wait. Not a problem. And then what I done was I got my antibacterial hand sanitizer, alcohol based, and I said to the gentleman, look, these buses aren't very clean. Try not to touch any of the surfaces. And I put some of this cream in his daughter's hand and in his. And I've never seen someone look so shocked yet so grateful for a simple act of kindness like that. If I have something in abundance, which at the moment I have, I am going to share it with someone that needs it. If we all work together and share, it's like all you people out there that have bulk bought. You've bulk bought toilet roll, pasta, rice, tinned foods, and you know that there are people out there that don't have much. I would hope, and I mean this with every fibre of my being, I would hope that you are sharing that with people that don't have much. Please. If you're buying loads and loads and loads, and you've noticed one of your neighbours, this fucking idiot, look, and you've noticed one of your neighbours doesn't have much, knock on the door, say, look, I haven't seen you leave the house for a couple of days. Do you have enough of X, Y, or Z? If they don't, share with them. Isn't it? It's a no-brainer. Be nice. Be nice. Hashtag common sense. Hashtag be kind. Hashtag COVID-19. Blah, 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 blah. Honestly. So I'm going to go and find this face mask at Beditton Way is what I'm doing now. And I'm actually quite fortunate because I couldn't find anything anywhere in Homebase, B&Q, the Wicks in Annerley, the Wicks at Catford, and there's only so many Wickses within a certain area or DIY stores that have those type of ventilators, because this is a respiratory device, which is what it is really. There's not that many, and I managed to find one of 3 in this store. So if you're in the local area and you want to go to work and you feel like it's, you know, time to go and get something, then Wicks have 2 left to my knowledge. They may have disappeared by now, and I do apologize for people that are commenting on this video. I really do, because I can't read it right now. 1, because I'm driving, as you can probably tell, and 2, because I'm wearing my polarized glasses and I can't actually see the screen very clearly anyway, which is a good thing for me because I don't really want to end up being distracted. So there we go. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely wonderful, wonderful Monday. Please take care out there. And again, if you can walk to and from work, try and do that. If you can walk to and from school, try and do that. Avoid public transport at all costs. I mean, if you have to use it, you have to use it. I understand that everyone has their needs in life. If you can't avoid public transport, that's fine. But if you can, avoid it. Even if it means walking half of the way home or walking 2 miles of your journey, do it. You'd be surprised at how much better you feel for it, for one, and you'd be freeing up buses for people that actually need to get on the bus as